Hello, boys. It's Honey. Boaz, do you see the kitty cat? Corbin, how many butterflies do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you find more than 5? This story is called Sneakers, the Seaside Cat. It's written by Margaret Wise Brown. Yes, we've read some of her books. And it's illustrated by Anne Mortimer. Ooh, what's that? You see those at the shore, don't you? Yes, it's a crab. Once there was a little fat cat, and his name was Sneakers. He had 4 white paws, and almost all the rest of him was inky black. He lived with a little boy and his father and mother. One day, the little boy and his father and mother went to the seashore. Does that look like the place you go and visit when you go to the shore? When Sneakers came to the sea, he was delighted. He could smell the fish. He thought he could catch them like mice. But when he dipped his careful little white paw into the blue sea, the water was wet and cold. So Sneakers decided to go out in a field and look for mice instead. The field was full of butterflies, so Sneakers chased one. But the sea was bothering him. All around him he could smell it, beyond the smell of pine trees. And he could feel it. It excited him. And way off, he could still hear it. Boom. 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 Sneakers did not know that the boom, boom, boom was the sea pounding the rocks way offshore, out on the ledges of the sea. Then he heard, ah-ha-ha! He wondered what it was. First it was a shadow, then it was a bird. Only it was such a big bird it did not seem very frightened of a little black cat with white paws. Sneakers did not like to think about birds who were not afraid of cats. So he went for a walk on the beach. Little shrimps about the size of a cat's claw jumped about in the sand. Oh, let's get a closer look at this. Look at that. Little shrimps. Sneakers roughed up his fur and lifted his feet higher as he walked along. Boing! He nearly caught a sand shrimp. But sand shrimps were jumping all the time, and they were too little to bother with anyways. Then, up ahead on the yellow sand, Sneakers saw something. It was yellow and pink on the outside. Sneakers had never seen anything that shape before. Then he crept up to it and peeked inside. There was nothing in it. He put his head down to it and listened. He heard a roar like the ocean's roar in it. But there was nothing in the shell. So he lifted up his paws and walked along the beach some more. The first thing he saw was a big flat thing with long bent legs. Sneakers could see the 2 shiny black eyes sticking out of its head. Sneakers crept after it. But the crab's eyes stuck out so far of its head that they had seen Sneakers coming. The crab scuttled down to the water's edge. But Sneakers was too quick for it. He hit the crab with his paw to see what it would do. And this is what the crab did. What do you think the crab did, friends? The crab shot out one of its long bent legs and grabbed a hold of Sneakers' little white paw in its crab claw. It hung on and pinched. Oh, look, can you see him pinching Sneakers' paw? Sneakers did not like that at all. He snatched back his paw so fast that the crab fell off. Then he licked his paw to make it feel better, roughed out his fur, and walked down the beach. Something was happening in the air. The air felt wetter and heavier. Sneaker could feel it on his tender little nose. And when he looked around, there were great puffs of smoke blowing in from the sea. They smelled of the sea and came drifting in puffs as big as clouds, until you couldn't see the sun anymore. Everything was gray, and the land beyond was all dim and dark like one big shape. Boy, I'm glad I saw that, thought Sneakers. In the morning, it was still foggy. Did you figure out that that's what Sneakers was seeing? He was seeing the fog as it rolled into the bay and onto the land. Fog can make it seem like nothing is there. In the morning, it was still foggy. Down in the depths of the sea, the fish swam slowly and the starfish pointed their spiky arms. Lobsters crawled into lobster pots and the sea urchins clung to the rocks. The sun came out of the gray and drove the fog away. It was low tide, and all around things were covered in seaweed. Then Sneakers heard a little sound. It was like creaky breathing. It was the seaweed popping. My, I'm glad I heard that, said Sneakers. And he sat and warmed himself in the sunlight and watched the light on the waves.